Yeah. What up, movie fans? I am back and we are talking Spider-Man. The film that has been the talk of the town. I have finally got a chance to sit down and watch Spider-Man Brand New Day. Before I give my thoughts and spoil the hell out of this, do you like movies? Do you like finding things to watch? Whether it's at home or in theaters, then click that follow button. You know to do the rest. Star reactions, love this film. This was the Marvel film that we needed, guys. It feels very reminiscent of the year that Infinity War came out, because if I'm not mistaken, it was either a Captain Marvel movie or a Spider-Man movie before we jumped into that Avengers film. So this really was very reminiscent of that year and just reminiscent of what it feels like when you go into a Marvel movie and it just smashes out and gets everyone, ah! I feel like this is a film I can recommend not just for people that like superhero stuff, but for people that like movies. This is a good story. There is pain, there's emotion, there's drama, there's tons of layers of things to tell a really just good own story. We're gonna start off with Tom, man. When it comes to Tom, this is definitely his performance of the year. I wasn't crazy about him in Odyssey, but you can tell from him being on the set of Odyssey, being around actors like freaking Matt Damon, you name it, you name the people, y'all all know all the people. I think some good acting chops was rubbed off of him to really zero in. I feel like this is the first Tom Holland film where he's always been a great actor, but I feel like he is honing in another layer to himself, which is kind of ironic to the film because a lot of this film is Peter Parker kind of growing, evolving, changing. I do love the adaptive of his web shooters. That was something that needed to be done, and it was done in a really dope way. You know, there were so many things that reminisced of Tobey's movies, and now is being more done in a proper way. Not only that, we held Tom accountable. I love when a story that revolves around, like, if a story has anything to do with timelines and time traveling, I love when you hold the characters accountable for the changes they made. They held this boy so accountable throughout the whole movie. That's where it kind of gets a little rough, but in the points to kind of push him forward in within his world and story. Now let's get into Sadie Sink, aka Jean freaking Grey. This is another star of this film. They tried to hide it for so long. I was already knowing she was Jean Grey and Let It Go a long time ago, and I think she did an amazing job. Great casting. Some of y'all argue that there's no villain in this film. There is. She's the villain. Hands down, either her or Damage Control. I can argue either the two. I definitely think she is a form of a villain in this film because you don't know who she is, where she's coming from. You just know she's a kid with powers. And that to me was a great, unique way to get you guys ready for X-Men. Because honestly, to me, before we give you a team called X-Men, we need to have y'all understand what a mutant is. Mutants are kids, teenagers, beings with abilities that come out in their teenage years, and their power sets can be very different for many people. And using her as an example just raises such a high bar because she is a telepath and she can control minds. Y'all saw she threw homie into the bus. Love what they did to the Hulk in this film. I do think we needed a break from Smart Bruce. I do love Smart Bruce though. Y'all didn't appreciate this and y'all don't see how dope this was, that we even got a TV show with him acting like this. But at the same time, I miss the Raging Monster Beast. And if y'all heard in the movie when he says, he's bigger. Yes, the Hulk can get bigger and even bigger. And that was something that was very irking in these Marvel movies that was never shown enough, if I'm doing mad. But he was overall used in the best way. Because I think they said they were going to put the Lizard Man instead of the Hulk. Oh, thank God they did not use the Lizard Man. I think my only gripe is kind of the fact that it just feels like we find Bruce teaching and there's just no acknowledgement of where Bruce has been. That does break my heart because I do want him to acknowledge his son, his cousin that lives in Cali. Then we get into my man Frank Castle, aka the Punisher. I love how they did him. He might be one of my second favorite standouts of side characters in this film because he was used perfectly. And at the same time, you continued his story. He healed in this film. If you watched his TV special that they had this year before this movie coming out, it completely ties to it, wraps it in a bow of that. Peter Parker inspires everyone, even people like the Punisher, to be a better human, to realize that you don't have to stay dark and angry every day of the week. Arrgh. And then their commodity was so New York. Every banter that they had was so New York. I want now a banter with Peter Parker, Punisher, and Daredevil, all of them just arguing on a train of where to go, what to do. And then obviously, lastly, this was a beautiful scene. Right when I saw it, it felt like something out of a comic book just being ripped from the sheet. I probably will talk a little more in a couple other videos, but let me know your thoughts. How did you love this film? Like it? Are you excited for the Doomsday?